So I thought I'd just take a moment here to just go over a couple things that I look out for when we're doing one of these small renovations that... Alrighty, welcome back to the Spruce Stomper YouTube channel, live from a job site. We're back doing work videos. We never stopped working, just don't always film it. No chainsaw, no forestry, bathroom finishing. So I'll show you what we're up to here. Got a nice pantry that we're gonna accommodate with some drywall ceiling, trim, your standard business, and then a little 3-piece bathroom, shower, toilet, and a cute little stainless steel sink, which I thought was really nice. Now, the nice part about this project is so far, the gentleman that built the house, well, they accommodated for a few things. So we're I gotta frame a false wall here. That'll give us our proper offset to the toilet. Double check that. Yep, plus a little bit. Never hurt anybody. See if this laser works. Got any batteries in it? Oh yeah. And brings it out 4 inches here, and that'll give you your 12 inches to the center of the toilet flange. And then what I got going on here is a Stabila 5-point plumb laser. So it very nicely shoots a dot on the edge of the 2x4 and will transfer a dot to the ceiling so we don't have to guess where plumb is. Isn't that nice? Well, we have moved on to, I believe, day 3, something like that. Plumbers yesterday, they took up a lot of space, so we got done what we could get done. But as you can see, look at, we're all boarded. This whole room, which is going to be a pantry, boarded, ceiling, done, is coming along really nicely. Everything fit beautifully. So I thought I'd just take a moment here to just go over a couple things that I look out for when we're doing one of these small renovations that can save people some hassle down the road and save yourself some hassle up front. When you're doing light fixtures, especially like above vanity fixtures that are going to be hung on the wall, be mindful of the orientation of the mounting screw locations for the fixture. They can be this way or they can be this way. Now, we're all familiar with the little silver adapter plate that your Home Depot light fixtures are gonna come with. Yeah, it's in there. Yeah, maybe you can get by, but I can tell you, I have run into fixtures that people have ordered online that cannot be adapted. If the box is oriented wrong, you are in for a world of pain, and it's basically a screw treasure hunt to make it work. So orientate the box, orient or orientate, you pick, so that the screw pattern matches the fixture, and if you can, change the box to match. I mean, if it's already in and you're not ripping something apart to get at it, well, you be the judge of that, but I try to make it match the fixture. Keep an eye on your plumber. There's a stud here, so in this case, which I was okay with, they're solid mounted. These are firm, this is firm. The clean out was existing, so it had to stay where it had to stay. We weren't gonna cut all the existing rough-in out, but make sure the plumbing lines are fixed in place, and do yourself a huge favor. Put the blocking in for the plumbing ahead of time. For example, right down here, this is for the toilet. Again, it's secure. It is 8 inches off the floor to the right-hand side of the toilet. That's where I want it. That's where it's supposed to be. So I put in the blocking so there was no questions from him when he got here. This is where it goes. because would you believe that the plumber doesn't bring any lumber with him? So I always try and be on site when there's going to be a subcontractor. When you're doing the blocking, you save yourself a little trouble. It's all in the small details. You ask your client, where are you going to put a towel rack? In this case, it's going to be a 36-inch corner shower. So there isn't enough room for a standard width towel bar over in this tiny corner. So we go ahead and we put it to the right of the shower. The door opens, you got your towel, and there's blocking in the wall for it. No, say no to drywall plugs. That should be a sticker. That should be a t-shirt. Just say no to drywall plugs. Long term, a screw and wood is much better than one of these pesky things that's coming through from next door. Blocking for a hand towel rack, right? Vanity, where are you gonna put your hand towel? You're probably gonna put a hand towel there. And in this case, I've also got some blocking over here. So there's multiple options to put that little towel rack, because that's what's gonna be bought. You're gonna buy the 3-piece set. It comes with a toilet roll. It comes with a hand towel holder, and it comes with your full-size towel rack meant for the shower. Put blocking in for them. You get the model number of the shower that the client has picked up, purchased, or that the plumber is going to supply. They come with a very nice detailed instruction for installation with measurements showing exactly where the blocking detail needs to go. This, to me, is very important. A lot of times I'll see where there's no blocking around the top rim in a solid fashion, so they'll just put a screw wherever there's a stud. Well, in some cases, these bathrooms, they're framed 2 foot on center. You don't end up with a lot of screws, and the plumber, depending on how you do it, do we have audio? Yeah, depending on how you do it, maybe he doesn't put blocking in. You're not around. So solid ring of blocking at the height where the flange of the shower is going to attach, and then a full board on the face that's going to go all the way to the floor to like really secure that tub. The other thing you got to watch out for, showers and tubs, if they choose one that has a grab handle or interior shelving, some of them have requirements for blocking as well in the wall. Something will fasten from the surround. So just make sure you get a detailed installation so you get all the blocking in the right spot, because once it's in, well, it's very hard to go back. Other little things, make sure that you ask how they want the switches done. Do you want the fan to come on with the light? Do you want both lights to come on the same switch? Do you want a timer? Where do you want the plug? Do you want it to the left? Ask all these things up front, get the preference, and if you are putting in a bigger box, don't leave a floppy box like this. Put a piece of backer in, back it. If it's anything over a 2-gang box, it needs a piece of backer beside it, because there's nothing worse than just relying on the plastic cover plate to hold that box in place, because over time, it's gonna work its way free, and it is just gonna be a nightmare. I think that's kind of where we're at. Probably take little snippets of video throughout the project. We're not gonna film the whole thing, because again, I feel like I'm standing on top of myself in here. It's a small basement. I like to do things, this is just concrete under here, but we've put the ram board down because a roll of ram board costs less than the labor and the effort to scrape and wash the floor after the drywall stage is done. No matter how careful you are, you're gonna drop some. So I like to cover the floor whenever possible. Saves myself a little bit of trouble. Also, back in the shower, where the mixing valve, the shower valve's gonna go, ideally, you would be able to access that shower valve easily. Now, you're gonna have the hole in the fiberglass surround, yes, but that hole is not big enough to take that entire shower valve out. It's just big enough to pull the vanity plate off and change the cartridge. So pick a location that's gonna be accessible later. In this case, we had 2 options. We had here, which is obviously not accessible because that's the backside of a closet. We have a lot of framing that you can't get at. Right here, well, it's just drywall. So we'll provide the client with dimensions on where the shower valve is in reference to that wall. And in the event that it needs to be taken out and they hire a plumber to come in, they simply go into the adjacent wall and they can cut a very polite size hole that an access panel will fit, and they can take it out. Now, you can just put the access panel in preemptively ahead of time, but you know, it depends. That's client preference. So just pick a wall that's accessible. You may not be around to hear the tale of when something does fail, but when it does, or if it does, well, you don't want anybody to be cursing you. You got your bathroom fan, make sure that's sized correctly. There is a calculation based on square footage. I believe it needs to exchange the air in the bathroom. Oh, I'm just gonna put a thing in writing here because I don't remember offhand. Make sure that you have one that's big enough. Too much is better than not enough, especially if you're using flex pipe, which I don't know if we caught that. I already put it in, I already covered it up. The flexible insulated duct, it has to be insulated. You do not want condensation forming and dripping inside the wall. Insulate your bathroom fan ductwork for sure. Run it all the way back to the fan. If you're using the flex duct, you want to make sure you have enough CFM, or if you may require a booster fan if you do the calculations, because you lose a lot of velocity with that spiral duct. It eats up the airflow. I actually mocked it up in this case. I mocked it up with actually the full length of flex duct on it, turned the fan on to make sure that we were getting a good flow, and it has enough power to overcome the spring damper. Okay, if you're putting in bathroom fan, make sure it actually has a flapper. I prefer the galvanized ones with the actual spring flap on it. It's got an actual metal spring that holds it shut. The plastic ones that rely on gravity, junk, especially when it gets to be 30 below. Junk and broken. Take lots of photos as you go, or as I'm doing, a video, just in case you have to go back. And yeah, that's it. Make sure you're using the appropriate drywall. You know, don't cheap out, even if it's in your own home. If it's going to be near moisture, bathrooms, kitchen backsplashes, that kind of thing, buy the treated drywall. Yes, it's almost double the price, but you're not buying that many sheets. It's worth the peace of mind. Any drywall that gets super, super wet for a long time is going to go moldy and mildew. But the idea with the treated blue and green is that it's resistant to that. Anyways, I think we're going to cut her short there. There's a lot of little things to watch out for as you go with doing even a small reno, you know, in such a tiny space as this. A lot of things get packed into a small room, and you never know. You never just quite know what you're going to come across, and you might not have been the guy that built the house, so it can lead to excitement. Anyhow, when you tune in again, we'll have some sort of update on the project as to where we end up here, but obviously the outcome is going to be finished, painted, floored, and some lovely people enjoying the space. We'll catch you on the next adventure.